Hello, my name is Kaan Topbaş, and I am a freshman student in Industrial Engineering at Bilkent University. And today I will present my Physics 101 lab project in this video. My project is about testing the difference of the range taken in a projectile motion created with a spring on an air table with different angled surfaces which pushes the projectile on the surface. And also, how does the inclination of the system affects the distance of the mass taken, which is thrown by a spring. In my experiment, firstly, I will be sure that in each throw, I will compress the spring at the same distance, which is 4 centimeters. Normally, the length of the spring is 8 centimeters, and I will compress it 4 centimeters, which makes its length 4 centimeters. I will put a block under one edge of my surface to make it inclined. On the other edge, I will put a spring and place a mass on the tip of it. In every throw, I will compress the same spring at the same distance, but I will change the incline of the surface. At first, the angle between the surface and the ground will be 6 degrees. In the second throw, it will be 8 degrees. And in the last throw, it will be 9 degrees. In each throw, I will measure the distance which mass taken with a ruler and mark the maximum point the mass reaches. Here I am making my first throw with a 6-degree angle and measuring the distance taken by the mass. Here I am making my second throw with an angle of 8 degrees with the surface and measuring the distance taken by the mass with a ruler. Here I am making my third and the last throw with a 9-degree angle with the surface and then measuring the distance taken by the mass with a ruler. Here I am showing my compression of the spring, which is same at all of the experiments. Here I am showing my length of the spring, which is again same at all of my experiments. After I conducted my experiment at each different angles, I found out that in my first throw, which is inclined 6 degrees with the surface, the distance that mass taken was 23 centimeters. In my second throw, which is inclined at 8 degrees with the surface, the distance that mass taken was 21 centimeters. And in my last and the third throw, which is inclined 9 degrees with the surface, the distance that mass taken was 19 centimeters. So I found out that the smaller the angle is, the longer distance the mass gets, which is same as my estimations that I made before conducting my experiment based on my calculations. There is also errors in my experiment due to friction, my holding of the spring, and flows during the throw of the mass. The errors prevented the experiment to be completely same as my estimation, but it didn't affect the general result. Thank you for listening to me.